For the longest time, I hated studying. It was always just so boring to me. Why would you go out of your way, use time to study? The whole thing was just so tedious. It's just like you're doing the same thing over and over again. But eventually, as I got older, it wasn't a case of whether I found it fun or not, because it was something that I just had to do anyway. I was in secondary school now and exams are now a thing. But my thoughts about studying didn't change for a while. It was still boring, still meaningless, and still something that I couldn't see the point of. And so I told myself that it was because I wasn't studying the right way. So I would find all these methods online that promised greater concentration and greater studying capabilities. And eventually I came across this piece of advice that's still mainstream to this day. If you're getting burnt out from studying and you can't find the point, you feel demotivated, it's because you're not taking enough breaks. So just take more breaks and you'll be able to study better. And so I set more breaks. I'd study for a bit and then I'd go on my phone. But that's fine because it's a break, right? I'm doing this so I could focus better, right? But unbeknownst to me, I was making so that studying would be even more boring and I'd feel even less motivated to do so. And that's all because of this thing called instant gratification. And what does this mean to you? Maybe you've never heard of this term before, or you know what it means, but how does it link to studying? But I can promise you that the reason you can't study or you find a lack of motivation is because of this instant gratification. So if your story is similar to mine, you can't find motivation to study, or you're someone who always tries to find advice to study better because you think you're studying wrong, watch this video. I promise you that it will change your perspective. Here's some explanation. There's two types of things we can do. Either things that give us instant gratification or delayed gratification. Studying is an example of delayed gratification. So is going to the gym, so is reading, and so is meditation. Because all these things, when we do them in the moment, they feel difficult, tedious. You always end up thinking, why am I even doing this? Is it even worth it? And that's because the reward isn't instant, they're delayed, hence the name. When you study, you don't feel anything different. When you read, you don't feel anything different. That's because you're not using these tokens for yourself right now. Rather, you're investing them for your future self. You study so that in the future you can have knowledge and you can do something you're happy about, or to maybe make some money. You meditate so that in the future you can have more peace of mind and have the ability to be present in the moment. And on the opposite end of the spectrum is instant gratification. Things that give you pleasure and results now, but they harm you in the long run. Things like TikTok, eating junk food, video games, porn. And this is all relevant to studying, I promise, just hold on. TikTok, it gives you gratification instantly. Junk food, it makes you happy right now because it tastes good. But the sad reality is that ever more in this society is the rise of instant gratification. So naturally, delayed gratification looks less and less appealing. We grow up with TV, so why read? We grow up with junk food, so what's the point of eating healthy and going to the gym? We grow up with scrolling, so what's the point of studying? So the reason that you can't study is because the results aren't instant. Instant like everything we're used to. But the thing is, if you could just stop staring at what's right in front of you and learn to look at the bigger picture, you'll be able to see the benefits of delayed gratification. Right now, you're just following that carrot that's dangling in front of you, but you don't know when the next step will be off of a cliff. The sweet experiment. Children were left in a room with one lollipop, but they were told that if they could wait 15 minutes without eating the lollipop, they could have 2 in 15 minutes time. And of course there were some children who just instantly ate it because they couldn't look at the bigger picture. It seems silly, right? Why would you not wait 15 minutes to get double of something? And the children who could wait 15 minutes were shown that they were statistically likely to have a higher income job, more happy, and have a more fulfilling life, just because of the simple fact that they were disciplined enough to not give in to instant gratification. And it's exactly the same with studying. You're saying that these children are silly for not waiting 15 minutes to double their outcome. But if you sit down and study right now, it shouldn't feel boring, tedious, pointless, meaningless, because you're literally investing in your future self. And unlike the lollipop experiment, you're not just gonna get 2 times the amount of lollipops. We're talking about tenfold, exponential increase, and you're not willing to put in the work for it. I'll say it again, studying, going to the gym, all of these tasks aren't pointless, because yes, they're hard right now, but the results you will get are so big. It's like fruits. You water it and you care for it and you wait for it to grow. You don't eat the fruit that's come out straight away. You wait for the flower to blossom and then for the fruit to grow until it's big and juicy so that you can enjoy it. But you have to put in the work. You have to wait. You have to tell yourself that I want to eat this fruit now, but I'm going to wait, because what comes after, if I wait, is so much better. It's going to taste much better than if I just have it now. Okay, so we went on a side tangent, but what I'm trying to say is the single best way to be able to find motivation to study and find meaning is to think of your future self. I always say this, but especially in this age, everything is stacked against us. Looking ahead and looking at your future is hard because we're always living in the present moment. And I don't know how many more analogies you want, but if you could steal the next 40 years of your life just to live this year carefree, would you do it? You can't study because you're too used to instant gratification. And it starts now that we break this. Every time you wonder why I'm studying for, it's not for the test, or it's not even for the good grades. It's for you. It's for the future you. Just imagine, 5 years from now, you're looking back at yourself and you're feeling proud that you put in the work, and so now you have the job that you want, the career that you want, you're living a fulfilled life, all because you had the discipline to look ahead and think of your future self. And so this may be overwhelming, confusing like it was to me at first, but there are many ways to fight against the system, and we can start making delayed gratification the norm again. But this is just the start, just an introduction to how you can start looking at the bigger picture. Every time you feel demotivated and you feel like you can't study, think about you in 5 years. The best investment that you can make is for your future self. So do it.